It doesn't matter for in the ring, you know. In the ring, only me and him, not crowd, not his popular, his pink, fancy clothes. It's not in the ring, you know. In the ring, only our skills. I fight only against skills.
Throughout his boxing journey, Dmitry Bivol has repeatedly encountered disrespect and trash talk directed at him. Bivol is rightly considered one of the best boxers in the world, as he has consistently shown people his level and backed up his words with actions. In this video, we'll tell you about instances when bold fighters were severely punished for their disrespect towards Dmitry Bivol. Number 1. Dmitry Bivol versus Joe Smith Jr. Joe Smith entered the match as an underdog, but experts were not ready to write him off. He was at the peak of his career, possessing very good speed and timing. Moreover, he had a strong knockout punch that could shake Bivol.
You know, I worked real hard, trained very hard, had a lot of ups and downs in my career, but this fight, I'm going to give it everything I have, and come March 9th, I'll be 100% and hopefully taking that title home.
The fight carried intrigue, whether Joe could reach Dmitry. Billy Joe so fervently believed in his victory that he stopped seeing Dmitry as an invincible opponent and lost all caution, which ultimately cost him. The contender is hard to credit for anything special, except perhaps his victory over the great Bernard Hopkins in 2016. Smith was the first to defeat Hopkins early, and this could be considered a significant achievement if not for Bernard's age at the time of the fight, 51 years. Going into this fight with Dmitry, Smith Jr. had a record of 2-1 in his last 3 fights. In the summer of 2017, Joe lost to Sullivan Barrera, who in turn was knocked out late by Dmitry less than a year ago. Logically, Smith Jr. was considered an unequivocal underdog against Dmitry, and his chance was called a lucky punch. The more technical Russian was ready for the contender's attempts to stun him with an active start, so he met attacks carefully and most often successfully. Bivol worked more on retreat in the opening rounds, but this did not prevent him from delivering precise counterpunches. When Dmitry wanted to shake off the opponent's aggressive mindset, he himself went forward and reached Joe with combinations. One of the few dangerous moments for Bivol occurred in the 4th round. Smith Jr. caught his opponent with a solid right hand over the front arm. Bivol quickly oriented himself and tied himself up with the Smith in a clinch, but Joe managed to land a short right hook even in this position. The Russian boxer clearly felt the hits but did not get lost. For the rest of the round, Bivol maintained a careful defensive manner, although he managed to reach Smith a couple of times by the end of the 3 minutes. Starting from the 5th round, Bivol completely took control of the fight, and in the 17th minute, he almost finished Smith early with a strong left hook on the jump. Joe clung to his opponent and managed to survive. Afterwards, the American survived until the 11th round, in which he seemed to activate all the remaining reserves in his body, likely taking the penultimate 3-minute round. But in the next, final segment of the fight, he was again close to an early defeat. As a result, Dmitry outclassed the confident contender and proved to everyone that his style must not be reckoned with. Number 2. Dmitry Bivol and Gilbert Castillo Rivera. This was a very serious title defense for Bivol. He was now facing a strong and aggressive Dominican who had shown championship character in recent fights and was boldly contending for the title.
It's his first time in Chicago. He knew that he had the ability to take that title away from people, and he most likely will be the champion. Thank you.
The public saw Bivol as a modest favorite, as Dmitry had not yet fully shown his potential. While Castillo had significant advantages in size and experience, at the conference, the Dominican promised to take the belt home, and at the stare-down, Dmitry wanted for the first time in his career to break his opponents with his gaze. Although the boxers shook hands at the end, Dmitry's behavior made it clear he intended to outclass his bold opponent. The fight proceeded in a slow pace, The Russian tried to find keys to the opponent's defenses, but Castillo used his height and reach to advantage to defend well. Occasionally, Castillo launched dangerous counterattacks, so in the early rounds, Bivol did not force the action in attack, working tactically instead. However, by the third round, the Russian had asserted his advantage and found the right distance. Despite periodic attempts by the Dominican to take the initiative, Bivol controlled the course of the fight and confidently held the advantage, acting more actively and faster than his opponent. The sixth round, Bivol landed a clean right hand and sent his opponent to the canvas. The Dominican recovered and subsequently began to resist again, working a bit more accurately in attack. But overall, it didn't help him. Bivol did not back down and continued in his usual manner. Castillo's surge faded, and the Russian secured a well-deserved and clean victory, once again outclassing a strong opponent. Number 3. Dmitry Bivol and Umar Salamov.
I think I'll have an easier time with Bivol than Smith. Why? Because Smith is physically strong, and he's strong from start to finish, and you can box with Bivol.
Assuring his fans that Salamov would box with Bivol and manage to defeat Dmitry, Umar was not shy about making bold statements. Bivol, on the other hand, was not in a hurry to speak loudly. He behaved modestly and focused, which was noticeable at the weigh-in. I'm not preparing for a walk in the park. I always prepare as if it's my last fight. When someone steps into the ring with me, they believe in their strength. That means I need to show my best and win. For Bivol, this was far from his first title defense, so he didn't feel any nerves and was considered a clear favorite. Umar, on the other hand, exuded confidence before the showdown and insisted that he performs better in fights with tough and trained boxers like Bivol, a sentiment that some might have expected him to demonstrate from the outset of the bout. Initially, it seemed so. Umar was more active, but this was more of a result of Bivol giving the initiative to his opponent and studying him. By the end of the first round, the champion began to show who was in control of the ring, brilliantly countering Salamov's attacks. At times, it seemed like Bivol was operating at only a third of his capacity. Whenever Salamov landed something, Dmitry immediately responded with brilliant combinations. Throughout the fight, Bivol displayed outstanding maneuverability, footwork, impressive speed, and combination work. It was a true display of boxing beauty. Salamov could only respond with repetitive 1-2s and sluggish left hooks. It was evident that the outcome of the bout was clear. Dmitry won decisively. As for Salamov, credit should be given to him for his resilience and character and will to win. He fought until the very end and continued to press forward even into the 12th round, despite being completely dissected by Bivol. Dmitry once again proved his rightness through actions and proved to be unreachable in the ring. Number 4. Dmitry Bivol and Saul Canelo Alvarez.
It's something, I think it's one of my best moments in my life. That's okay. One of my best moments. Okay.
The legacy of the Mexican is truly great. Having defeated everyone he could, he had no equals. Saul was called the King of Boxing, unmatched in his professionalism, and some even called him the greatest boxer in history.
Is there anything that scares you, Canelo Alvarez? What frightens you?
Nothing about boxing.
No.
This is what I love.
Yeah.
So
Suddenly, on the horizon of the Mexican, appeared a little-known and undefeated boxer from Russia, who slowly but surely became the top contender for a bout with the Mexican. Bivol was not afraid for Saul's legacy. He thirsted for a fight with him, and Canelo, who had finally lost faith in the credibility of his opponents and decided to reach higher by taking a belt in another weight category. The public didn't understand Dmitry. It seemed like he had an undefeated record, successful performances, and held a belt. Why would he risk such a risky bout with the boxing king? Dmitry looked at the situation much deeper. In case of victory over Saul, he would become one of the main figures in world boxing, as he would accomplish the seemingly impossible. The decision was made to agree to a bout with Canelo and destroy the legacy that Saul had so rightfully built around himself. Most did not believe in Bivol's victory, however, and there were those who supported the Russian. Canelo himself was confident in his victory like never before and stated that the bout with Bivol would be another addition to his legacy. At the press conference, he arrived in style akin to a king in one of the most expensive cars in the world. During the conference, Canelo still showed respect to Bivol, even though he did not take his skills seriously.
No, thank you for the opportunity to fight for your world champion. Thank you so much.
However, Dmitry conducted himself quite modestly and knew that actions speak much louder than words.
I believe in me. I had a long trip to this moment, and now I have to do my job.
From the first rounds, the Russian proved that all forecasts against him were somewhat inadequate. Bivol followed the only right path, throwing numerous jabs, not lingering and quickly moving away from the ropes when Alvarez tried to corner him. Canelo often missed, but continuously pressed forward and unleashed sharp combinations of 2 or 3 punches. Credit must be given to Bivol. Saul Alvarez indeed missed a lot. In the middle of the 5th round, Dmitry Bivol trapped his opponent against the ropes and delivered a series of powerful blows to Canelo's head. Bivol matched Canelo's pace and his main merit, although neither fighter forced the pace. In each round, Bivol's steadily accumulated points and laid the foundation for later rounds. The 7th and 8th rounds were dictated by Dmitry. The Russian occasionally stagnated, allowing Canelo to unleash his combinations, but these moments were fleeting. Bivol landed punches significantly more often, and, more importantly for the Mexican, significantly harder. Bivol approached the championship rounds with a decent stamina reserve, most likely leading on points. This was an additional source of irritation for Canelo. In the 10th round, the Mexican seemed unsure of what to do, a highly unproductive round. But in the next round, Alvarez stepped on the gas, attacking with long combinations and working the body. Bivol might have felt a twinge of fear, but his footwork spoke volumes. "I'm fine." There was no shame in Dmitry's performance, but the outcome of the bout was nerve-wracking. The tallying of scores and the inevitable result of 115 to 113. The score from all 3 judges' scorecards. Number 5. Dmitry Bivol and Gilberto Ramirez. After his legendary victory over the King of Mexico, Bivol's career soared into the stratosphere. Saul Alvarez had only lost to Floyd Mayweather, and Bivol delivered a true masterclass against him. It was expected that after such a feat, Bivol would square off against Artur Beterbiev for the division's undisputed championship, but this showdown is currently being postponed. Therefore, another Mexican stepped into the ring against Dmitry, a fighter with numerous victories in the professional ring, and unlike Canelo, not a single defeat. Gilberto Ramirez was vying for the WBA title and appeared incredibly formidable, a record of 44-0 with 30 wins by knockout and impressive physical attributes.
I saw the desert. This is the last one, and the next one will be in November 5th in a fight. Let's do it. Get ready.
Ramirez was taller than Bivol, had a greater reach, and cut 10 kilograms to make the weight limit. The undefeated Mexican claimed that he would embody Mexico and crown himself as vengeance for Canelo Alvarez. In response, Dmitry remained silent and chuckled.
You want more?
Great. No, enough. Thank you.
Take care, man.
Finished.
Already in the first round, it seemed that the Russian boxer would secure a stoppage victory. Dmitry confidently took the center of the ring, seized the initiative, and almost immediately unleashed a barrage of punches in a Mexican style, but much more technically refined. Ramirez surpassed Bivol in size and couldn't keep up with him in speed. Therefore, round after round, Dmitry outclassed his opponent, delivering sometimes incredible combos with a double-digit number of punches. Essentially, all Ramirez could do and manage was occasionally landing jabs, but his rear hand, which he primarily used for knockouts, consistently missed the mark. Bivol imposed a frenetic pace, exploded throughout the rounds, timely evaded a safe distance, and outclassed his opponent, and his footwork was impeccable. Over the course of 36 minutes, Gilberto Ramirez simply couldn't adapt to such techniques and tactics. As a result, Dmitry Bivol secured a unanimous decision victory from the judges. Now, he boasts 21 wins in 21 bouts and the undisputed WBA title. It was a sheer domination. After this bout, Bivol earned the title of Mexican Boxer Decorator Machine. Interestingly, without realizing it, Dmitry was undermining the careers and mental states of boxers. Even Canelo has yet to come to terms with his defeat and only thinks about arranging a match with Bivol.
Is there any chance this is your last fight?
If John Ryder beat me, so I'm done. Right?
I think a lot of people are not expecting much from John Ryder because they look at his record.
They say the same thing with Dmitry Bivol, and look, he's a good fighter.
What do you have left to prove in boxing?
The fight with Dmitry Bivol.
However, Dmitry has his own plans, and very soon will share the ring with a much more dangerous opponent than the star Mexican. Eyeing Dmitry's greatness is the undefeated Canadian boxer with Russian roots, Artur Beterbiev, who has already begun his own game of words.
When's it gonna happen?
Is it gonna happen, guys? Next year?
When's it gonna happen?
I don't know. He talk about fight, but he never fight. Ask him.
Dimitri?
It looks like he fight, yeah?